Hey everybody, Tech Sergeant Chris Ziemba here, pianist with the Airmen of Note. I just thought I'd take a few minutes to share some of my ideas about how to learn tunes, which is something that I love to do in my downtime. It helps me to feel like I'm maintaining my creativity when I'm on a gig by having a large library of songs that I know that I can play, that I can call at any time. My biggest piece of advice, no matter what level you are, is to try to learn a tune by ear. And this is super important. If you think about a lot of the jazz masters that we look up to, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk, they didn't have the benefit of iRealbook or published real books to learn tunes. They did everything by ear. So we should really do the same way in order to internalize these tunes. Plus, a lot of times real books are going to have some wrong information in there, and you want to watch out for that. Okay. So how do we go about learning a tune by ear? Well, first of all, you have to do a little bit of research, and this is where technology can come in handy because we have benefits of the internet. We have Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube. So we can call up a lot of the songs that we want to learn instantly. So let's say you want to learn a jazz composition by, say, Bud Powell or Thelonious Monk, where you can figure out with a little bit of research where the original recording was. Well, then you want to try to find that recording and learn the tune from that. Okay? If you want to learn a tune from the Great American Songbook, something with lyrics, something that's maybe been recorded dozens, if not hundreds of times, then you might have trouble finding what the original recording is. And that's okay. At that point, you want to see if you can take 3 or 4 different versions. Okay? Find a few vocal versions and maybe an instrumental version, which you can compare during your process of learning. And the reason I emphasize vocal versions is, as instrumentalists, we want to try to learn how to play melodies as organically as possible. And by listening to vocalists, that will really help you get some of their phrasing and avoid run-on sentences or things that are unnatural sounding as instrumentalists. Um, so if you can find a recording by Ella Fitzgerald of the tune that you want to learn, I highly recommend that, just because uh, Ella did not take too many liberties a lot of the time when she was singing melodies, and it's very clear what the original melody is supposed to be, as opposed to trying to learn a tune from someone like Betty Carter, who did take a lot of liberties, and you won't be able to tell very easily what the melody may have been. Okay? So once you either have your original recording or a collection of source recordings, at that point you want to break the tune apart into, 3 components. There's going to be a melody, a bass line, and a harmony. And depending on how much experience you have with learning tunes by ear, you can either work with 1 at a time, 2 at a time, or all 3 at once. And you want to try to go sequentially. Okay, deal with chunks, sizable chunks that you can work with. Okay, whether that's 2 beats at a time, a bar at a time, 2 bars, 4 bars. And like I said, the more you do this by ear, the more comfortable you will be thinking in larger chunks, and the faster this oral process will work for you. After you think that you have the tune learned in terms of melody, bass line, harmony, then at that point you can make your own chart after the fact. In fact, this is what I have over here. I keep a whole notebook full of charts that I've learned by ear. That way I can trust myself. I know that I have done this work, and this is what I think to be the melody. This is with a song in my heart, a tune that I just learned. And if you think you've finished when you've just learned the tune and said, okay, great, I've got it in my head, cool, next tune. Well, wait a minute, there's more you can do with that one tune to make sure it's really internalized. First of all, see if you can play the tune in all 12 keys slowly. This will test your transposition skills, your relative pitch, and also it will get you feeling a little bit more comfortable in playing language in different keys, especially if you're taking a bebop tune and playing it in the key of B or the key of E, which are a couple of keys that are often neglected as jazz musicians, right? And then you can go back to the original key, or whatever key you want to play it in, and then set your quarter note to 40 beats per minute. No matter what the original tempo of the tune is, even if it's like a super fast burner, set it to 40 beats per minute. And if you can play the melody, or as a pianist, just the head, without any extra embellishment, and make it from start to finish 40 beats per minute without getting lost or without any inaccuracies, at that point, you really have that thing internalized. A few other tips I have, keep a running list of tunes that you want to learn, tunes that might have been called at you on a jam session or a gig that you didn't know. and just, go back to it whenever you have a few minutes. Say, okay, well, this is a tune I didn't know this night. I'm going to learn it right now. Okay, and I have a running list on my iPhone that's a couple, if I print it out, it'd be a couple pages long of tunes that I want to learn. And then finally, once you've learned a tune, the best way to keep it in there is to play it a bunch of times. So call it on gigs coming up. Call it, get together with a friend, just play it in your downtime, and that's the best way to do it. So these are just a few tips I thought I'd share with you. Please check out the rest of our Facebook page. There will be some other tutorials on there, and leave some comments below if you have some additional ideas on how you like to learn tunes. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.